this is just where things are now.
Yeah.
Right? So, and this is going to sound like I'm throwing shade at Trevor Lawrence, and I promise you it's not. I like Trevor Lawrence a lot. I think there's definitely stuff still to prove, and like you want to see him have a good year, especially after last year. But Trevor Lawrence is getting paid $55 million.
Yeah.
So, like, that's where the market is for young QBs now. And Tua got paid under, right? Because it's like 53.1, but he got a ton in guaranteed money. Because what was it, like 160 something? Yeah, $167 million in guarantees. He got more guarantees than Jordan Love did. So I think for just the way things are going, yeah, Jordan Love right now, he's making we're talking about that contract too, but he's making a ton of money. When Dak Prescott gets extended by the Cowboys, if he gets extended by the Cowboys, I am assuming, I'm going to make an educated guess here, an educated wish, that Dak is going to be the highest paid quarterback. He's going to get paid more money than Jordan Love because the amount of experience he has, right? The accolades that he has. So he's going to get paid more. And then someone mentioned Brock Purdy before. When it's coming for his big payday, he's going to make more because now there's certain standards and benchmarks that are getting cleared. And you're going to start to see guys make more money, and this is just going to go up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to see a $60 million quarterback, like, relatively soon.
Yeah, it's like we have the same conversation every time a quarterback gets paid.
Yes.
It's like, how are they going to keep the team together? They figure it out. The cap goes up every year.
They're going to make like $25 billion. Yeah. Like, it's going to keep on going up and up.
They do so many things with the quarterback contracts. Like, they defer cap hits till later. They kick that big hit down the road. The only thing you got to worry about is if you have a stupid money man. Like, we should have a ranking for your NFL, like, every team's, like, cap handler. I don't even know what they fucking call the finance dude who figures out the cap for teams. I know it's part of what the GM does, but I'm sure they have a money guy. We need to have a ranking of the best money men in the league. This guy is the best cap wizard. This guy, this is Kevin from The Office in terms of accounting. This team needs to be concerned. Here's a question for you. Out of these quarterbacks here, Tom. Oh, wait, one more thing.
Yeah.
0 Super Bowl wins. If the NFL had to pay quarterbacks only after they won Super Bowls, the only quarterbacks getting paid right now would be Patrick Mahomes and Matthew Stafford. Brady's retired. When's the last time Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl? Like, the amount of guys who win Super Bowls is very small. I think it's a silly metric to have in there in terms of whether or not you're going to pay your quarterback.
I just want to, real quick, Perna, just to your last comment, about the whole money guy. Yeah, like Russ Ball, like for Packers fans, is like a genius. Like, that's the guy who's like making all these contracts and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
we need I need to know every team's money guy. We need the money guy list.
Yep.
We need the money ball list.
He's the EVP.
Right. Of these quarterbacks,
yes.
Okay, you can't say Love because you're a Packers fan, okay? So get rid of Jordan Love here. You have to pay one of these quarterbacks. You're a GM. You get one. Which guy are you taking? And it's not like you're drafting this guy. You're this player right now in his career. You get any of them. Which of these dudes are you taking?
Joe Burrow or Lamar.
Okay, that easy for you.
Yeah.
What about old Jared Goff?
Yeah, Joe Burrow or Lamar.
What about Jared Goff?
Burrow's younger.
I would probably pay Jordan Love.
Okay, well, I would pay Jordan Love too. That's my number one answer. But
no, I know, but I said you couldn't because it would have been biased.
Well, so let's get into this. Let's start breaking this down here. Okay,
I think, and that's part of me likes the mystery.
Yeah.
Part of me likes the mystery.
What's in the box? Okay. So if you actually look at the contract here, because I think, I don't want to generalize. I think there are a good amount of Packer fans that are very happy with the contract.
Should be.
Right? I think the number one criticism of the contract is that the sample size is so small to pay Jordan Love that much money. Right? Which I think it's a valid criticism. I basically went back and was like, yeah, well, the Packers have done this before, right? They did this in 2008 when Aaron Rodgers was the starter. It was his first year as a starter. They paid him in October of 2008. They saw him for a handful of games. Yeah. And then they said, hey, here's a 5-year. This is how much QB contracts have changed. 5-year, $65 million contract, which is a good sized contract. It's a decent contract for back then. And so the Packers are not new to this, 1. 2, when Trevor Lawrence is getting paid $55 million, again, that's the new market. Like, that's the new benchmark. I think you can make an argument that Joe Burrow should be getting paid more money than Jordan Love and Trevor Lawrence because he at least has a Super Bowl appearance.
Sure.
That's not Jordan Love's problem. That's not Trevor Lawrence's problem. That's a Joe Burrow contract problem. You mentioned before the only QBs who would get paid are Patrick Mahomes. That deal is looking worse and worse for Patrick Mahomes because they signed a 10-year deal worth $500 million, and it sounded really cool and it sounded really nice, but he's constantly being overtaken as the highest paid quarterback year after year and season after season. And let me be very clear too, like, they're going to readjust it. They're going to renegotiate. It's the same thing here, right? So he's making 11-9, 10-4. There's an out if it goes really poorly. But basically, this is a 3-year contract, and they're going to negotiate before he turns 30 again.
All these guys are getting paid like, it's 4 or 5 years, $250 million, 200, whatever.
Really?
Philadelphia does things a little bit different, right? Look at Jalen Hurts' cap hit in 2029. It's $97 million.
All those void years.
On these voided years, right?
Yep.
So if he doesn't work out, the Eagles are in a very, very sticky situation. And like if you go through some of these guys like Joe Burrow, like his isn't as bad. He's got a big cap hit coming up in 2029, but that's $68 million right now. That's probably what like quarterback cap hits are going to be at that point. So these guys are getting paid. A lot of teams have made it so their cap hits are smaller right now. They'll take the big cap hits later. The Bengals are going with, no, we're just going to kind of average out these cap hits and do it that way. So there's multiple approaches to doing this. And like you had with the Packers up there, they're not stupid. They spread it out. It'll be fine. All you got to be concerned about is whether or not these quarterbacks are actually going to perform. And you can get mad because it's $50 million and you miss the playoffs or whatever. But like, the crazy thing to me is Tua, Burrow, Love, Hurts, and Herbert. They all came out of the same draft class, and they're all really good quarterbacks.
$1.2 billion in QB contracts from 2020, which is insane.
And that's like the episode I'm working on is about like the $1 billion boys now. It's like all of you've never seen that. We've never had 5 quarterbacks all get paid basically at the same time, totaling over $1 billion in money. And every team that has one of those quarterbacks on it should be kind of excited right now.
Yeah. I mean,
especially the Packers.
It was said this way, right? Because the concern is, what if it doesn't work out? It's exactly what you're talking about. Sure. Because these numbers are, they're so big right now. 5 years from now, no one's going to give a crap, right? Because right now the NFL is making $20 billion a year in revenue, and that's going to go up, or at least they're expecting it to go up significantly in the next few years. This is when the NFL is making this much money, you're going to have the most important position in the league get paid a ton of money. So is there a concern? Sure. But it's like there's concern with every single one of these guys. You could go down that entire list of the highest paid quarterbacks right now and be like, there's concerns here, there's concerns here, there's concerns here. And I think the criticism of the contract for Jordan Love saying, hey, there's not enough of a sample size, I get it. It's a risky move. The Packers have seen him for 4 years. They've seen him, develop as a player. First 2 were really not great. And then just get more and more playing time. Tom Clements comes back and really helps out Jordan Love. You saw him play last season. they're paying for what he could be, right? Because you're paying for that potential.
Yeah.
You're drafting guys for their potential. Yeah, you had a really good year, like you did really well in college, but is that going to translate? The Packers feel comfortable enough going, yep, Jordan Love is our guy. This is the investment we're making into you. And if, let's be very honest, you mentioned before, look at like Jared Goff, for example, and I've seen like the first 2 episodes, I think, of Receiver. You look at Ross St. Brown, who's like one of the best receivers in the league. You look at Jalen Hurts. He has 2 phenomenal receivers. You look at Joe Burrow, who has 2 phenomenal receivers. Talk about Tua, 2 phenomenal receivers. Jordan Love went in with so many question marks last year at receiver, at offensive line. He himself was a question mark. And for them to go and nearly knock off the 49ers, like, I get it. I get the excitement. I get from what you saw from like the last year of his play, especially near the end. It was really damn good football, and he did a lot without established elite receivers. So, yeah, and you look at this past week in camp, dude, when he was out, good God, the defense was destroying the backups, and I mean destroying them. And so this is the guy who makes that offense run. Jordan Love was one of the guys, if not the guy, who made that team as good as they were last year for them to go and knock off the Cowboys and almost knock off the 49ers. So he's pivotal to the team. You're paying him based off potential. Like, I personally, I'm not concerned. Because if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You know, it would suck, but it's not going to be, oh my God, we're going to be hurting for years as the salary cap continues to go up. And I don't think he's going to be bad.